You know, Lindsay, we left the warm surroundings of our home in Orlando to come here to Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, to see the Dave Matthews Band. And today we're going to be hosted by Stefan Lessard, their bass player. You ready to go on the bus?
Yes.
Hey, Stefan,
Hi.
how are you? I'm Scott.
Scott,
This is Lindsay.
Hi, nice to meet you.
ready to hear some music?
Let's do it.
All right.
Being motivated by inspiring stories. Getting stronger both mentally and physically. Making a difference in the environment. And living a healthier lifestyle places us on the journey called the Inspirational 7.
Hi, I'm your host, Scott Savlov, and welcome to the Inspirational 7. We've created a series that gives you a fresh look at sports, fitness, nutrition, wellness, and the environment. Each week we'll have celebrities and experts that teach you how to stay fit, eat right, and make better choices. Now let's meet the cast of the Inspirational 7.
My name is Holly.
I'm Hunter.
My name is Lindsay.
My name is Kyler.
My name is Cody.
I'm Brandon.
I'm Hannah.
This is the Inspirational 7.
So how did you get into music?
I got into music when I was 6 years old. Both my parents were musicians, and I think music was always in the house. My dad always had a guitar lying around or a flute. He used to play flute. My mom used to sing. I played violin and I played piano and I sang and then I did guitar. And then my mom one day said, "You really have to decide on one instrument." And after that, then my music teacher really he was the one who introduced me to everyone in the band.
I heard like you were 16 when you joined the Dave Matthews Band.
I was 16. I was like 15 when I picked up a bass guitar, and then I was 16 when I got in the band. And I was really lucky because there was no other good bass players in town. So even though I was young, there was no one else to go to.
Was there like a tryout or like?
Well, the whole band was a tryout. Like the four of us got together, and Dave, myself, Leroy, and Carter. Dave had wanted to start a band, and so the three of us got together with Dave, and we just played one or two rehearsals, and it went really good, and we really enjoyed being together and playing music together, and we had a good time, so we just kept doing it. And next thing you know, 4 years later, we're like in a van playing up and down the East Coast.
I read something that you had to like sneak into the clubs because you weren't old enough to play at some of the venues.
Yeah, you're not supposed to talk about that. Because I'd go in before even the doorman would get there. We'd set up on stage, and then we usually would eat whatever at the gig and then play the show. It was after the show was done. A few times I had to get snuck out of the clubs because there was one place in particular where police came in and started IDing people from the front of the club, and they were coming to the back. And I remember the band like shoved me out the back door and got in the van because I was too young to be there.
Was it weird playing with people with such an age difference between you guys?
It started off as a novelty, like, because I was in school, and then I'd go and sit in with other bands with professional musicians, and it was like nerve-wracking but at the same time really fun, and kind of like gave myself a little like boost, a confidence boost. I kind of at one point said, okay, I graduated, and now I'm a peer. Now I'm an equal part of this band. So I kind of had to make the decision if I was going to stay in college or go on the road with the band. And
Was that hard for you?
It was, because I really love school and I love learning, but I also kind of needed money, and my parents needed me to make money, so the band was like an easy, obvious way to start making money, and it seemed like we were going to start making money, so I went with the band, and I've been calling it my education ever since.
Good choice.
Not many people get this opportunity to, from the time they're 16. I mean, to be in one solid band that whole time and have this success, it's really something I'm very grateful and thankful for.
Coming up, we'll talk with Stefan about what it's like to be on the road with the Dave Matthews Band. The I-7 is brought to you by Poland Spring 100% natural spring water, sourced only from carefully selected natural springs, born better. By Pepsi Next, drink it to believe it. By the new Icebreakers Frost. And by Listerine, power to your mouth.
Life on the road hard for you? Like, you don't get enough sleep, or you just might not feel like you have a home in one place? What's that like?
Sleeping's hard. I think you and I were talking a little bit. Like last night, I got into the hotel at about 4 o'clock in the morning. You can't necessarily always sleep on the bus in front of the hotel, so you have to get up and go inside the hotel, and then it takes you another hour just to get back to sleep, and then you sleep till 2 o'clock, and then you wake up, and it's time to go to work. And I try and get as much sleep as I can, no matter what time of day it is.
To fulfill your career, what would be on your list of things to do?
I would love to play India. I would love to play in Japan. I would love to play in Asia and Africa, and go back to Australia and go to New Zealand, or play a show in Hawaii. Like places that we haven't played yet, I want to play music. It's my biggest goal, is to play in as many locations as possible.
Are you interested in the culture of the different places, or what makes that so special?
We've been to Brazil and Portugal, and it's crazy how enthusiastic they are about the music and how excited they get. In Buenos Aires, they're singing the whole time, like singing soccer chants through our show the whole time, and it's amazing. And to be able to see what happens in India, or what happened in Japan, even if we go somewhere and they're all like super stiff and just looking at us, and then in the end they're like this, to have that experience.
It's a different atmosphere.
Even if it's just me learning about the music of these different places by going and visiting with the musicians there and playing with them, that's really my biggest goal.
What would you tell someone who would want to become in the music industry like you have?
One, you never turn down a gig. So if you love doing something and you get a job doing what you love doing, you're supposed to always take it. And then the other one is do it for love, because you love doing something and you love playing music. Whether you make money at it or you don't make money at it, what makes you a great musician is the fact that you keep doing it out of the love of doing it, and not because you're trying to be a celebrity, or you're trying to make money, or you're trying to have a career. All those are important, but the most important thing is really that you do it because you love to do it.
Up next, we'll learn how Stefan and the Dave Matthews Band are doing their part to help the environment. The I-7 is brought to you by Tide. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide. By Colgate Optic White Toothpaste, whiter teeth in 1 week. By Dove Dark Chocolate. There's magic in the taste of our rich, silky smooth Dove Dark Chocolate. And by Ben & Jerry's new Greek frozen yogurt. It's really Greek and good.
You know, Lindsay, one of the fascinating things about the Dave Matthews Band is they're trying to reduce the carbon footprint. They're not only moving all the people, but all kinds of equipment. 14 trucks, 11 buses, that's a lot of equipment and a lot of people. One person's trying to make a great green initiative. That person's Holy Nightingale. Polly, hi, I'm Scott.
Scott, nice to
This
meet you.
is Lindsay from the I-7.
Hi, Lindsay.
nice to
Polly.
meet
Nice to
you.
see you. Thank you for coming out to the Dave Matthews Band concert today. We have 14 trucks, 10 buses. We have a huge carbon footprint as a band, but the band is doing their best to cut it down by reducing the amount of idle time they have on the trucks and buses, using shore power wherever possible. One of the larger carbon footprints we have is actually the fans coming to the shows. So what we do here on site in the concourses once fans come in is we try to encourage them to do things like carpool, use reusable water bottles.
Why did you start this movement?
Well, Stefan decided that in about 2005 he saw all the trucks and buses coming out, and he decided that, we need to try to figure out a way to make our carbon footprint less on tour. He sort of looked around and saw different ways of doing it and saw this organization called Reverb and said, I think those guys can help us with our carbon footprint.
What kind of input does the band have with you on what your efforts are?
They have a lot. They basically make sure that we are going after organizations that inspire people to want to get up and get out and do things.
You see a difference?
We see a huge difference. In amphitheater shows, people are using less water bottles that are plastic, so the lawn looks cleaner at the end of the show if you were to look at a time lapse of that. With carpooling, the venues are starting to see it in ease, and a lot of these places can't actually hold as many people in their parking areas as they can in the building. So when people carpooling, people are actually able to park closer to the shows. It's pretty amazing.
What can someone who's interested in reducing their carbon footprint do to, like, simple things that they can do in their life?
When you're home, you can try to bike places or walk a little bit to the local grocery stores. When you're out here coming to a tour, as I said, you can commute with folks. Every smart decision that the right decision is probably the thing that you can do. It's sort of not being lazy and just kind of doing the right thing.
Coming up, we'll meet Chef Fiona. And the I-7 heads to New York to see the sights and do some much-needed shopping at Duane Reade in Midtown.
Hey, Lindsay, one of the cool things about the Dave Matthews Band is that they prepare food for 100 people. Here's an organic food drop right here in Philadelphia. Let's go inside and meet Chef Fiona and talk about their choices. Hey, Chef Fiona.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Scott.
Nice to meet you.
This is Lindsay from the I-7.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thank you so much for visiting
Oh,
with us
sure.
today.
Sure, my pleasure.
Obviously, a lot of work to prepare for 100 people.
Yes.
Got to be intimidating.
At times, yeah. Sometimes we get up to 300 people, so it's a lot of work. But there's a great group of people we have working with us, and we work hard all day.
Hey, we wanted to find out, we saw the organic food out front. How did the Dave Matthews Band come up with healthy choice and healthy living?
It's really a group effort from a lot of different people. I mean, we have a company that offers us local farms that we source from. We offer them a lot of different choices, but we try to vary, the type of meat and how we cook it. They do care about what they eat, and Dave owns a farm and understands that he's part of the Farm Aid. He's on the board there, and it matters a lot to them, to Stefan, to all of them. There's a couple vegetarians. They're really conscious of how they eat and their health. We do make so many different types of things that there really is something for everyone.
With all this food preparation, there's got to be some waste at the end of the day. What do you do with it?
We definitely try to gauge how much is going to be eaten in a day. I mean, I portion out a certain amount of each protein per person, and been cooking for these guys for a long time, so you get a sense of how much they're going to eat on a daily basis. But we try to keep it to a minimum, down to the last pan of what we're going to use. We also compost and recycle, so we really keep our waste to a minimum.
Well, we thank you so much for visiting with us. We're going to go try some of your food right now.
Enjoy.
And now Stefan gives Lindsay a quick lesson on the bass.
Here, it's my favorite instrument. This is the bass that's played every single night on stage. And the first thing I would say to anyone that I would teach to play the bass is just to learn how to make a noise. There you go. That's all you gotta do. You can walk. This is called walking, when your fingers go back and forth. So if you give that a try, you're doing it. That's walking bass, and that's why they call it the walking bass line, because your fingers are just walking, and the bass line is just kind of like walking along. There's other ways to play. You can also play with your thumb, where you pull it down like that. Sometimes I'll play with my thumb and I'll mute the sound to kind of make it sound a little bit like an R&B song. Sometimes most times I do the walking, like just normal fingers because I can go fast that way. And then every once in a while when we're doing more of a rock song and I have some distortion on, I'll play with a pick and I just feel cool. So press down on there.
Okay.
And then
just.
Yep, there you go. And then let this, take it off and then pluck it again. And you could go back and forth with that, and that's a bass line. Then we have a strap, and you just put it down like that, and there it is. Some people play really low, other people play it up really high. I kind of like it kind of where you have it, like right about there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And if you sit down, you know, you can take the strap off or on, but I stand when I play. So.
We are here in Midtown Manhattan. The I-17 is walking the streets of New York City. And of course, it's me that has to go get the supplies. Where do I have to go? Right here at Dwayne Reed. Let's go in and shop. Hey Scott, how's it going? Hey Scott, how's it going? Hey, now as the I-17 travels, we have to be conscious of our health, not just for our bodies, but for our mouth as well. And our solution, Listerine Antiseptic. You rinse twice a day with this for 30 seconds. It helps get the germs out of your mouth. Rinse with Listerine Antiseptic, that does the job. I'm gonna get a couple of bottles and make sure that the kids are doing it. I've been doing it for years. Gotta make sure that they do it as well. All right, guys, now the I-17 has sent me to get some soft drinks. I'm getting the new Pepsi Next. It's not a diet drink, but this has less calories, less sugar, which is fantastic for the I-17, and this doesn't have any bitter aftertaste, which a lot of times the diet drinks do. I'm gonna get a couple of these bottles for the I-17, and let's keep shopping. All right, guys, another solution for the I-17 is to get some non-carbonated products. For us, how about this one? Sobe Life Water with pomegranate. 100 calories, quite delicious. Let's grab a couple of these for the gang, and away we go. Now the I-7, we're an active group. We're always doing sports, we're interviewing people, we're getting ourselves dirty. Our solution, Tide. My wife uses it, so I know that these clothes, which we wear all the time as our uniforms on the I-7, gotta make sure that they're clean and they're ready for the next day. Our solution, Tide. All right, guys, now Cody and Holly have told me they want to whiten their teeth and they need a new toothpaste. They told me to pick up Optic White. It's the new solution. It's got hydrogen peroxide. It'll get your teeth whiter in a week, which is pretty good. It's under $5. It helps remove plaque and germs from your mouth. It's a great product and a great solution for the I-7. All right, guys, to complement the Optic White toothpaste, you gotta get the Optic White toothbrush. It helps remove stains, it whitens your teeth, and it gets to those hard to reach places. I'm gonna get a couple of these, and let's keep shopping. All right, the I-7 is about making good choices. And while we're here at Dwayne Reed in New York, a good choice is to pick up Poland Spring water. I-17 is walking around New York, they're burning calories and they're being dehydrated. The best solution? Water. Poland Spring's been around for 165 years, which means that their brand is sustained. It's good, clean tasting water. It's been selected from source streams in Maine, and it's been around for so long that we know that the brand is going to taste good. And let's keep shopping. While the I-7 is here in New York, I have several business meetings. I need to make sure I have fresh breath. The solution, Icebreakers Frost. The cooling crystals on the outside form a frost. Inside is a delicious mint that lasts a long time, keeps your breath nice and fresh. The thing I love the most about it, it's sugar-free, which is perfect for the I-7. Let's keep shopping. All right, guys, take a look at this, the new Ben & Jerry's Greek frozen yogurt, made with real Greek yogurt and Ben & Jerry's flavors. What's not to love about that? I bet it even has the chunks that makes Ben & Jerry's ice cream special. I think I'm gonna get a couple of these strawberry shortcakes so that way the I-7 can try a few of these. Pretty Greek and good. All right, anybody who watches the I-7 knows I love my chocolate. The Dove dark chocolate bars are fantastic. 1.4 ounces, so you've got great size control. Now, a lot of times dark chocolate is bitter. Not this, it's silky, smooth, and tastes great.
Is that all you need today, Scott?
I have all the supplies I need. I've been here at 52nd and Broadway at Duane Reade, where they make New York City shopping easier. And we'll see you the next time on the I-7.